Hey everyone, before we get into today's news video, I just want to let you know that over the next 2 weeks or so, we are going to be making our 1,000 subscriber giveaway announcement. And we are going to be giving away a really awesome prize package to show our appreciation for you guys and how much it means to us that you guys watch these videos and that you've come along with us on this journey. So keep your eyes peeled for that. If you're a current subscriber, if you are new to this channel, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on when we put those entry rules out, because it is an awesome package and you guys aren't going to want to miss out on this. So keep your eyes peeled. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on the chance to win a really awesome set of prizes. And with that, let's jump into the news. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. As you guys know, it has been a crazy time for Disney news. There is news that is coming out literally every day since the parks reopened. So in today's video, we are going to give you the latest Disney news about some updates to safety protocols that you can expect around Walt Disney World, some attraction closures, and a possible very long refurbishment coming to a beloved fan favorite attraction, and a little bit more. So let's dive right in. First off, we are going to talk about the latest news that broke yesterday, and that is that temperature screenings are now required at table service resort dining locations. And this has been updated under the What You Need to Know section on the Walt Disney World website underneath Health and Hygiene. It says, guests dining in table service restaurants at Disney Resort hotels will undergo a temperature screening prior to entering the location. As with other locations at Walt Disney World Resort that require temperature screenings before entry, anyone displaying a temperature of 100.4 degrees or above will be directed to an additional rescreening. Those with temperatures 100.4 or above will not be allowed entry, and like I said, those in their party will also not be allowed entry either. And speaking of the resorts, we have some new reopening dates for the Polynesian and Art of Animation. The Polynesian Village Resort had an original reopening date of August 12th and will now reopen on October 4th. Art of Animation had an original reopening date of August 12th, and they will now open on November 1st. So pretty extensive setbacks for Polynesian and Art of Animation, pushing their reopenings for the Polynesian to almost 2 months and over 2 months for Art of Animation. Beach Club and the Boardwalk were set to reopen on August 24th and October 1st, and both of those resorts will remain closed, and there is currently no date as to when they are going to open. The All-Star Resorts, Port Orleans, French Quarter, and Riverside, Animal Kingdom Lodge, the non-DVC section, and Wilderness Lodge still have no reopening dates. So there are still a number of Walt Disney World resorts that do not have reopening dates. So just keep that in mind if you're planning to make a trip to Walt Disney World this fall. I would definitely look to book in a resort that currently is open and is accepting reservations. Now on to some news that makes me a little bit sad, and that is that our friend Jose over at the Gran Fiesta Tour in Epcot has been removed from the attraction for the time being, and we do not know when he's going to be coming back. If you missed it last week, Jose's animatronic figure malfunctioned and fell forward. The animatronic figure continued to move and shake while face down in the finale scene of the Gran Fiesta Tour. Of course, that's that scene with Donald, Jose, and Panchito where you see their animatronic figures and they're singing the theme song to the Three Caballeros ride. Jose took a nosedive and was face down for quite a while, and Disney actually kind of covered him up with a bunch of flowers for a little bit. That lasted a day or two, and now they have fully removed Jose from the attraction. Now, these animatronic figures have been in the finale scene for the Gran Fiesta Tour for the past 5 years, but they actually date back quite a long time to the opening day of Magic Kingdom, where they were a part of an original attraction called the Mickey Mouse Revue. And the Mickey Mouse Revue was kind of similar to Mickey's PhilharMagic, where they take you through multiple scenes and Mickey is kind of leading an orchestra. It was a similar concept, not exactly the same, but Mickey Mouse was the conductor, and they had tons of animatronic figures, and we had Snow White, Cinderella, the Three Little Pigs, so many different figures, and the Three Caballeros were part of that attraction. After the attraction was at Magic Kingdom, it actually went over to Tokyo for a little bit as part of an anniversary celebration, and then those three animatronic figures of the Three Caballeros came over to Epcot and were added to the Gran Fiesta Tour finale. Now, if you guys have been with us for a little while, you know how much I love the Gran Fiesta Tour, and I hope Jose gets well soon, and I hope he is added back into the ride. But for now, I guess we're gonna have to call this the Two Caballeros. Ever since Walt Disney World opened, there was a little bit of confusion as far as what masks are acceptable to wear in the parks and resorts, which ones are not, and Disney has kind of made it very clear now as to what types of masks are acceptable and which are not and will not be prohibited on property. Masks with valves or holes are no longer permitted at Walt Disney World. Neck gaiters, open chin triangle bandanas, and coverings containing valves, mesh material, or holes are not acceptable. I know those neck gaiters were very popular and a lot of people seem to be enjoying them and saying that they're one of the most comfortable options. They are accepted at Universal, but at Walt Disney World, you cannot wear a neck gaiter. I know there was a lot of confusion about that when the parks reopened with the cast previews and the annual pass holder previews. There was a lot of different answers. Now Disney has made it pretty clear that neck gaiters are not allowed in the parks. There was also a recent update to the guest policy when it comes to eating and drinking. At first, you were able to take your mask off as long as you were eating or drinking something. Now Disney has put out an update to the rule saying that all guests must remain stationary and maintain appropriate physical distancing when eating or drinking. So if you want to remove your mask, you have to pull over to the side, grab a spot that's not really near anyone. You can take your mask off to eat or drink, and then once you're finished, put it back on and you can continue on your merry way. You cannot walk around with a drink and keep your mask off while sipping on it as you walk around World Showcase, for example. And a couple of days ago over at Epcot, a woman was arrested for having 2 guns and some marijuana inside of a diaper bag and tried to bring that into the parks. A Georgia woman was arrested after security found 2 guns and marijuana in her infant's diaper bag. She was arrested on charges of carrying a concealed weapon and possession of less than 20 grams of cannabis. And once again, shout out to the security team at Epcot for recognizing that, catching that, and making sure that was stopped before that became a bigger problem. So shout out to the security team. They always do a great job at Walt Disney World of keeping us safe and making sure that nothing bad is brought into the parks. This isn't the first time that this has happened as far as them catching guns coming into the park. So shout out to the security team. You guys are the best. Now, in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that a fan favorite attraction will be undergoing a lengthy refurbishment this summer, and that is the Tomorrowland Transit Authority Peoplemover. The Peoplemover has been down pretty much every day since the parks have reopened, and it really hasn't been the same since a few months ago it had that fire that caught and really caused issues to the track, and the Peoplemover has experienced some massive downtime ever since that day. Now, according to blogmickey.com, there is extensive work planned for the Peoplemover, and they're expecting significant downtime this summer. According to the article, they have spoken to cast members, and they have said that the Peoplemover will be receiving extensive work over the coming weeks and possibly even longer. Now, none of this is confirmed by Disney yet, and the Peoplemover is not under the list of attractions that are currently closed for refurbishment just yet, but apparently cast members from the attraction have been telling media and guests that the Peoplemover is going to be receiving a full replacement of the magnetic linear induction motors along the entire track. So they're basically replacing the track. It's going to be a big undertaking, and I can imagine that the Peoplemover would be closed for at least a month or two, possibly even longer, depending on how technical this work needs to be. And we mentioned that the attraction was having some issues before the parks closed and was experiencing a lot of downtime, and apparently Disney was trying to replace those motors in the track as they failed, and it was just hard to do with the number of people that were in the parks pre-shutdown. But now that the parks attendance is pretty low, they are expecting to kind of shut it down, redo it while the attendance is low, and then have it reopen back up again in a little while once they're able to do all the work that they need to do. Once again, this is not confirmed by Disney yet. This is just according to blogmickey.com after speaking to some cast members in the area. But given the issues that the Peoplemover has had over the past few months, I am going to believe it, and I am going to say that I would expect the Peoplemover to go down for a little while. I love the Peoplemover. I want it to be around for quite a long time. So if we have to go a couple of months without it so that they fix it and it runs smoothly, I'm totally okay with that. And lastly, we have some Disneyland news for you. Oogie Boogie's Bash over at Disney's California Adventure has been canceled for 2020. Oogie Boogie Bash is basically Disneyland's version of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. It's a separate ticketed event and has been canceled for this year at California Adventure. Now, this cancellation really shouldn't come as too much of a shock because Disneyland and California Adventure have yet to set reopening dates as they await approval from state and local officials. So there is still no reopening date for Disneyland or California Adventure. Disneyland has stated that it plans on sharing details regarding Halloween decorations at a later time. And with that, Disneyland has extended resort cancellations through August 22nd. Guests with reservations have received emails about this cancellation and what they can do as far as refunds or moving to a later date, etc. And right now, only the downtown Disney district is open to guests. So none of the resorts are open. Both the parks are still closed with no reopening date, and only the downtown Disney shopping district is open to guests. And even that isn't fully open yet. There are still some things there that are closed. So that's gonna do it for this week's Disney news update. We hope you guys found this video helpful and informative. If you did, make sure you give it a nice big thumbs up. It really helps us out. And if you guys are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you stay up to date on all of our Disney videos. And with that being said, we'll see you guys real soon.